So this video is the first in a series of local cemeteries to me. We're starting with West Ridge Road, which actually has 4 cemeteries on it. And as you can see, this first one is Melbon Mills Cemetery. I'm going to show you each of the gravestones, and then in the comments this time I will include some information about the cemetery or some of the people in it. So here we have Harry Weeks, 1908 to 1912. Beautiful day for a nice walk. It's not a big cemetery, but I've seen some smaller and many much bigger. Marcus Parsons, Statira Parsons, 1825 to 1902. So that one's been here for a while. A lot of these gravestones look like they could use a good cleaning. That's Charles Loomis. Let me just say, if you have any relatives that are in this cemetery and you want snapshots, feel free to take them from this video or keep a copy of the video. That's fine too. Or contact me directly. And if you'd like, if you're related and you'd like the stones cleaned, then contact me and we can see what we can do about getting that done. It looks like it says Ploomy, Ploomy. Oh, Loomis. There we go. This one looks a little clearer. Bradford Loomis. That must say Loomis over there. Another one that's a lot of moss and such build up on it. I'll see if I can look up these names too and put them in the comments for those that are harder to read. Emerlin. Again, these are all still the Loomis line apparently. And behind them is more. The dates are harder to read for now. More Loomis. So that was George Loomis and his wife Martha. He died in the late 1800s. And that one's Louisa. Catherine. William Soule. Oh, let me back up. This one here is old and it's a marker, but no writing on it. No, nothing on either side there. We'll have to look that one up. David and Julia. It says when they died. Early 1900s. And again, another marker, but no writing. May have had writing at one point, but now it's been so long. There's this one, another marker. We'll go back up to the front here. Whittemore. I can't read the first writing, the first name, but and that's an unmarked. These look like some of the older ones in the cemetery. And again, they have some lichen built up on it. Some moss. So it looks like the early to mid 1800s. Another Loomis. Dyer Loomis. Died in 1839. Can you imagine? Samuel Loomis. Marshall Loomis. We'll have to research the Loomis line, apparently. Then over here behind it, there's a family stone. Usually has several different generations, but we'll see what this one has. There's no family name that I see on this bottom, as you sometimes find. It says Nathaniel Jr., their son. So that means there's got to be a, maybe on this side? Huh. Oh, here we go. On the back side. Nathaniel Grant and his wife Hannah. Died in 1864, I believe. That might say, yeah, 1864, I think. Hannah died in 1880. I can't quite make out what that number is. Could be a 7, maybe a 3. So then on this side, Fairbrother. Lavina, his wife. Start back here and then we'll backtrack here. Williams, Bertha E. Oscar Williams, he died in the 1800s. Eliza, daughter of Hezekiah and Susan Williams. Oh, here's Hezekiah and Susan right here. Died in 1882 and 1892. And, we'll go up here and start on this side. So we have a whole section off here. Part. That says Hannah. I can't read the last name on here. Sally? Ames. Oh, wait. Children of Ames and Sally Tuttle. Okay, so these are the Tuttles in here. I see now. You just picture the funerals and graveside services that must have happened way back in the 1800s for these people. Their loved ones all gathered together. That one looks like it may have been cleaned more recently than some of the others. So Charles is a son of the ones we just saw, Sarah and Warren. So Sarah Luce and Warren Tuttle. Luce is a name you see a lot around in this area even now. Another son, Warren. Oh, so these guys all died young. Charles was only 11 years old. Warren was 8 years old. Mary was 3 years old. Oh, look at the dates on here. Charles died 1854, February 8th. And right before that, Warren died on January 25th of 1854, same year. And January 30th, Mary died. So within a month, they had lost all 3 of their children. I wonder if there was a flu epidemic or something that came through at that time. And then we have Esther Bradbury. I'm not sure how to say that last name. And on this side, on the end of it here, Abel. I don't think that says Tuttle on that one, but I can't make out what it does say. Looks like it starts with a P. Mary Tuttle, his wife. Okay. So Abel married into the Tuttles. Or she married into his. Should I say? More Tuttles. And Lydia, his wife. And over here we have... Oh, it's a Johnson. Died in 1831. And Charlotte, wife of... Oh, no, wife of Henry Knight. Oh, that's interesting. But I don't see Henry Knight buried here yet. Now we've looked at those ones. So now we'll go over here. Benjamin Grain, died 1846. Abigail, his wife, somebody's fixed that stone. As you can see, it must have gotten broken or knocked over. A couple of stones here, very likely to be children of theirs. Again, we're going to go back up to the front. Start up here. Henry Hudson. Oh, Sophia Hudson. She died in 1890. I can't see his is 18 something there. Could be 1880 something. So that was probably husband and wife. Doesn't say specifically. Henry. Oh, Mary. Sorry, Mary. Wife of Thomas Robinson. Died 1848. He died in 1839. Thomas Robbins. And there's a daughter of theirs. 25 years old when she passed. Oh, another repaired stone. Caroline Swain. Betsy, wife of Thomas Robinson. And there's Thomas Robinson. Dudley Swain. Charlotte, his wife. Looks like we're getting into some older ones back here. We have Patience, wife of Andrew Heron, formerly the wife of Michael Pratt. That looks like Michael Pratt right there. I can't see the dates on it, but it's an old one. Possibly 18. Looks like there's a 03 there. Here's one of the old style stones. Hepzibah Rowe, died 1851. Go to this one, then we'll start back up at the beginning. That looks like David M. I can't make out most of the writing on that one. There's an 1833 visible. I'm not sure if that's the death date. I would assume it is. All right. Ruth, wife of Nathaniel Lombard. And there he is. Rebecca, wife of Joseph May, or Nay. I think that's a Nay. Yeah, here's Joseph right here. So it looks like the earliest ones are in the 1850s. More people in that family. Daniel Fox, 1847. Israel Fox, 1848. Charles, 1839. I'm going to skip up here and get these ones and then go back to the back here. That one just looks like it says DF. We'll have to do some research and see if we figure out who DF is. I'm assuming it's a fox as it's buried right near them. Ida Robinson, maybe? And this says wife of. Oh, Mary A on the top. Okay. Orville. Kimball. Okay, so these other ones may be Kimball's. Another Robinson, Charles Robinson. Harriet, wife of Charles. Emma Jane. Zebiah? I can't read that quite. wife of Charles. Okay, we got those ones already, so let's go to the next generation back. We have Hannah, wife of James Whittemore. Catherine, wife of James Whittemore. So he had two wives. They died about just a few years from each other. 1850 something there and 1861. And there's James himself. Didn't die till 1880. Is that a 3? Looks like it might be. Lizzie, wife of Stephen Gifford. Sarah, wife of George Fogg. Nathaniel Whittemore and wife Sally. Henry Whittemore. Looks like he died in 1877. The stone's busted, been repaired once, but still has a big old crack in it. This is a newer stone, quite new. Amanda Rose Berry, 1986 to 2004. So these are some newer ones on this side right here anyway. We have some Laneys. Nope. One from Roger Laney, died in 2011. And there's a couple flatter stones here. Norma, Roger and Norma. And that's what it says on the big stone for both of them. Richard and Judy. They're all working our way back up toward the front this time at the far edge of the cemetery. Douglas Little. Oh, as you can see, they are still living. They've had their stone placed, apparently. And she's had the last name Earl. So we have a Robert Earl and Mary. So I'm guessing maybe her parents. Adam Harville just died in 2016. It's a fairly new stone. Oh, these ones are facing the opposite direction. To turn around here. David Marshall Sanders. Again, newer stones. Stephen Sanders, Emma Sanders, Marshall Stebbins, and Ella Stebbins. Given the topography right there, it looks like a newer grave, but no stone marking or anything. Okay, here we have Joseph Horn and his wife Rachel. They died in late 1800s. And then there's two stones next to them that may be a couple or it may be their children. That second one looks like it has an M. So it's some sort of initials there. Let me go over here. There's some older ones. Just the marker there. May have been a full stone at one point. Here's some real old ones. We go to the beginning of this aisle here. Mrs. Sally Homestead and Mr. Reuben, maybe? It's broken right there, but it looks like it's probably Reuben. Died in 1827. So these are the oldest ones, I would say, that we've found so far anyway. Matton, M-A-T-T-O-N, looks like. 27. Oh, Melbon, of course, the name of the cemetery. Okay, so these were probably the first ones placed. And this area is called Melbon Mills. So obviously this would be the family that they all came from. Mrs. Sally Melbon. Mr. James, I believe, Melbon. Died in 1815. Mr. James Melbon died 1808. So here we go. That's our oldest stone so far. That's another Melbon. Then we have one that has writing, but nothing I can make out right at the moment. I'm assuming it's part of the Melbon family, as the rest of them around it are. Some of these are really in need of cleaning. It would make it much easier to read. I'm not going to struggle to try to read these ones, but these are all part of the Melbon family. It says Nathaniel, I believe. Okay. So we're backtracking. We just have just a small handful of stones left. Rachel, wife of Samuel Greeley. She died in 1833, it looks like. Nancy. There's more writing there, but very hard to read. Smith. Dorothy, maybe? I can't quite make out what that says. Maybe the camera's picking that up better than my eyes. Abby B. More Melbons. Peter Melbon. Sarah, wife of Peter. He died in the mid-1840s. Or mid-1800s anyway. Maurice and Marion Melbon. Actually died in the 1970s. So last row, far end of the cemetery. Alton Melbon. Okay, they're related to the Melbons. He's got a different last name. I can't quite tell what that is, though. It's fancy script. Arram, I believe. Aram. It's down the bottom. It says Cleveland. Newer comparatively. Some more of the Melbon family, but from this era. Oh, there's an interesting name. Ruel. I'm not sure how you even say that. There's another one with the same name. So probably father and son. Ada, which is, I'm going to assume, the wife. Ooh, that stone's definitely seen better days. George, probably a son of theirs. That one is not readable to me. Wallace, maybe. And that looks like it could be Arthur. And last stone, Ray C. Melbon. Looks like he died in the early 1920s. That stone definitely needs some work. So that's our first cemetery tour. Feel free to drop comments.